Hello, fellow Wolverines. My name is Gabby Miller, and I'm here with
Zach Warshaw.
In this week's episode, we're going to cover Michigan football's close win over Minnesota, our women's volleyball victories over both Michigan State and Rutgers, and recap our women's field hockey's incredible season.
This week, Alex Orgy and our 3-1 Michigan Wolverines took on Max Brosmer and the 2-2 Minnesota Golden Gophers, competing in the oldest trophy game of all time for the Little Brown Jug. Michigan started out the game strong, getting a stop on defense and then driving on offense to score a drive capped by a 27-yard rushing touchdown by Khalil Mullins. Minnesota then tried to respond with a field goal, but the kick was no good. After this, the scoring slowed for a bit as neither team could seem to get much going.
This was the case until a second down where Michigan's Zeke Berry was able to force a fumble and recover it, setting up the Wolverines with a first down at Minnesota's 19-yard line. 3 Khalil Mullins runs later, Michigan scored a touchdown to go up 14-0. A few drives later, the defense came in clutch yet again, when Keaton Bennett blocked a Minnesota punt to give the Wolverines the ball at the Minnesota's 11-yard line. On the next play, Alex Orgy threw a touchdown to wide receiver Tyler Morris, putting the Wolverines up a whopping 21-0. On the very next drive, Minnesota's Max Brosmer was intercepted on the first play by corner Dreyer Hill. Unfortunately, the Wolverines weren't able to capitalize, and after a crazy final drive for Minnesota, Michigan went into halftime up 21-3.
Michigan was able to start the third quarter strong, driving down the field and kicking a 53-yard field goal to go up 24-3. The next few drives were uneventful as both teams couldn't get anything going. The Wolverines started to move the ball until a contested pass to Colston Loveland led to an interception by Minnesota's Ethan Robinson. After a long drive, Minnesota ran in a touchdown from 3 yards out, cutting the score to 24-10. Minnesota's defense immediately forced a 3-and-out, and after a 60-yard punt return to the Michigan 17-yard line, Minnesota's Darius Taylor took in a 4-yard touchdown to bring the score even closer at 24-17. Alex Orgy and the Wolverines needed at least 3 and started off the drive by giving the ball to Khalil Mullins and didn't look back. After a big 15-yard completion and a lot of Khalil Mullins runs, Michigan got into field goal range to go up 27-17.
This ended up being crucial because after a long drive from Minnesota, Max Brosmer threw a 12-yard touchdown to wide receiver Daniel Jackson. The score was 27-24, and Minnesota went to attempt an onside kick. Michigan fans were in shock when the kick was recovered by Minnesota, but after an offsides penalty on Minnesota and a recovery by Michigan on the re-kick, the Wolverines ran out the clock to secure their 78th win over Minnesota and retain the Little Brown Jug another year. Michigan's defense was able to record 5 sacks in the game, the most in a single game this year. Michigan improves to 4-1, 2-0 in the Big Ten, moving up to rank number 10. Our Wolverines will go on the road for the first time this season to face Washington, the newest addition to the Big Ten, in a rematch of the 2023 National Championship game.
Sliding onto the court, our women's volleyball team continues to impress with victories over both Michigan State and Rutgers. On September 27th, a maze out in Chrysler Center hosted an audience of nearly 7,000 fans to watch Michigan face rivals Michigan State. Allison Jacob led the team once again with 14 kills, as well as Jackie Boney racking up 6 blocks. Our Wolverines held an advantage in every aspect of the game, sweeping a victory 3-0.
On September 29th, our Wolverines welcomed Rutgers to Cliff Keen. After a tough first 2 sets, Rutgers held the lead 2-0 on the cusp of victory. Morgan Burke brought 54 assists on offense, leading to 67 kills as a team. Our Wolverines did not give up after the deficit, coming back to win 3 sets in a row for the victory, 3-2. The team travels this weekend to the sunny Los Angeles, California to play number 21 USC and UCLA.
Pushing over to women's field hockey, they're currently on a 7-game win streak, making them 7-1. Their only loss this season was early on against UNC. The leading lady on the field this season has been Kate McLaughlin, who has 9 goals, scoring on 86% of shots on goal. Abby Tamer is right behind McLaughlin in stats and is tied with her for a total of 22 points on the season. A fun fact is that Abby Tamer actually represented the United States at the 2024 Paris Olympics, starting all 5 games and led the U.S. in scoring with 2 goals of her own. This Sunday, the number 7 ranked Wolverines are set to take on the number 4 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes here in Ann Arbor at 1 p.m. in a blueout of the Buckeyes.
This Saturday, October 5th, our Wolverines head to Seattle, Washington to face the Washington Huskies in a rematch of the 2023 National Championship, where we emerged victorious 34-13. This will be the 15th meeting between Michigan and Washington and the 10th contest played during the regular season. Michigan holds a 6-3 advantage in those regular season matchups. Washington is led by former Arizona head coach Jed Fish and Mississippi State transfer QB Will Rogers III. Washington averages 469 yards per game on offense and allows only 249 yards per game. The Wolverines will yet again be forced to rely on the incredible Khalil Mullings if they hope to remain undefeated in the Big Ten. Tune in to NBC at 7:30 Eastern Time to support your Wolverines as they look to improve to a 5-1 record this year. So Zach, how are you feeling about this national championship rematch this weekend?
I'm feeling very confident about it. I was expecting for this to be Washington's welcome to the Big Ten moment, and then they got beat up in Piscataway by Rutgers, so they've already had that. So facing an actual Big Ten team, I'm expecting us to absolutely wipe the floor with them, even without any passing offense and using essentially an Army West Point type of offensive scheme. I think it'll be an easy victory.
Right on. I don't know how easy. I know we had a bit bigger of a gap last year when we played them, but I'm hoping it's not as close as it was this past weekend. But what else do you believe is going to happen?
So looking at both teams, obviously, essentially the entirety of both squads have gone to the NFL. So this is two brand new teams for the most part.
And to add, the head coach, both completely new head coaches. And I just hope we get healthy for this game. We're all set to go. Will Johnson, huge asset, need him back there again. We obviously saw, especially in that second half, how hard it was without him back there.
Josiah Stewart as well,
Yes.
he wasn't out, but he dressed, but he didn't play a single down, so he's clearly dealing with some injury. Our defense is what saves us in these games.
It
so
is. They've
it is
really
critical
shown
to have
this year.
them completely healthy.
Agreed.
If not, then we might have some trouble, but I mean, still, it's Washington.
Yeah, nothing to
So-
worry about.
UW doesn't really pose a threat anymore.
Thanks for tuning in to WOLV TV SportsCenter. I'm Gabby Miller here with,
Zach Warshaw.
and who's got it better than us?
Nobody.